Well, here's Trinity. So what I've done in the last few times I've been here working is removed that whole gutter all the way across the top to smooth off the top. Remove that gutter piece. All of this panel is now loose here. As you can see, all the way down, this whole panel, I've loosened that up. Now, the cut is going to go right along that line. We're going to cut and raise the roof right along that line right there. All the way back, coming back to here. This post is raising. This post is staying. So I've loosened all of that panel all the way around. I've also gone ahead. As you can see, all these rivets are taken out here. The rain gutter's loosened. I might remove that rain. I'm going to have to remove that rain gutter coming up and around the window to smooth that out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the detail on that yet, but I've removed all the rivets there. So that's where the roof raise will be, is along that rivet line. And then I've made the cuts in the framing. Whoa. And all the way across the back panel here. All those rivets are gone. These rivets are loose. That back panel there is loose. And all the panel down there, all that whole panel is loose as well. So now I'm going to be showing the supports I'm building on the bus here. So here's what I've been doing the last couple hours of work, is installing these lifts. Now these are ideas that thanks to Transcend Existence. I've watched his videos a lot. He seems very knowledgeable. He's done a lot of these. So I've put that one on, and then I've also put that one there. Made all the welds. Then I'm going to be making the cuts on the inside of the bus right there, right across that point. Those are the two where I'm going to be cutting this one, and this one is staying. All of the rest of those posts will be cut. Transcend Existence, he always goes up and down with his cuts, but I can't really do that with this crown because it makes a transition right at where I'm making the cut. And this whole bus actually bends in at that transition point from going straight up off the ground to a slight angle. So if you look down the bus, I don't know if we can catch it on this angle here, but if you look down the bus, well, you can see it by the bolt that I put in right there, and how I had to put in that first weld and the angle. You can see how the one on the bottom is level with the ground, and then the one on the top is coming in at an angle. So when I lift the bus, the whole thing will come straight up off that bottom brace. The same thing with the other one. Over here, if you get on the back side of this one, over here, you can see that as well, that, oops, that back one right there is straight, and then the top one up there has that angle to it. So that's kind of the predicament between the crown and normal buses. The normal buses, they just go straight up at a square angle. So now I'm going to be working back on the back of the bus today, and oh no, These things don't work that well. Thinking wing nuts. So, I'll bring this LED back here a little ways. And here's what I'm doing back here today, is I'm going to be making my cut. You can see how this support carries through. So the support that carries through, which is this one, right? I'm going to get my finger in there. This one, I'm going to be cutting it. I'm going to be putting the brace on this one here, because that one carries up and over the top. And we come up and over the top. And I'll be also putting one on that piece over there next to the door. It's going to be this one here. So when I do that and I make my cut, I have this big opening here that can bend and tweak when I make the lift. On the other side of the bus, it's totally solid. I'm not worried about that cantilever making stress at that joint on the top. And I would be worried about this back end of the bus kind of tweaking the door and bending it so that the door at the bottom down here, the opening would be narrower if it bent at all. So I'm going to weld a piece of iron across that area above where I'm making my cut to strengthen that joint right there so it will not move when I make my lift. Then I'll be welding those in, and I'll be welding that one in, and that's enough of me talking today. I got this cool little welder. It's called a Reboot. Let's see here. Reboot. Thing works really nice. Got it on Amazon for a couple $100. And that welding helmet, heck, it works really good too. It was only like $35 on Amazon. You know, I'm not a pro at this stuff, so I'm only going to be using it so much. So these are tools that I really didn't want to go and invest $700 on a wire welder. This thing is working really nice. Now, usually, I'm the DeWalt guy. Everything you see of mine is DeWalt. I have so much yellow and black tools, it's unbelievable. I should be sponsored by DeWalt. But for something like this, I just had to go cheap. Because it isn't part of my business and I won't be using it that long. If I keep this whole thing going and we keep making this kind of stuff, maybe I'll get a Miller or a Lincoln. Hey, here from Trinity, peace out.